Yeah, now let us look at the point of view of early trader of vegetation cycle. The first point of view is that during the transition, um, the first point of view is that during the transition, there is something specific happen that you need to where you can take a you can take profit in there. Okay, let us take this example. In this example, right, we have here the origin. Then we have the reversal, right? After that, we have the transition finally. So during the transition, what you can realize is that, first of all, make a realization. The realization is that while the price were going down, SSA hasn't been touched up until this candle, right? Up until this candle here, this red candle, SSA has been touched here at this candle. When SSA has been touched like this, you can draw a line this way. So when during the transition, you know that the transition, the bottom point of the transition is the SSA inverted and Kijun inverted inside the cloud. So those will be your entries. The bottom point are the entries during the transition. So your first take profit will then be the point where SSA has been touched there on the left. That is the transition phase. Your first take profit will be the point where SSA has been touched. Yeah, that's the realization that for this specific case. So let us go on the number 2. So there is something that I call Tenkan roof. Um, Something that I call Tenkan roof. The Tenkan roof is showing you when the price is about to reverse. Okay, let me show you it on the Tenkan dome, the Tenkan roof, the Tenkan cover. So basically what we have is that if you take a house like this with the roof this way and you have light bulbs inside like this, right? You have the light bulb inside the house. So this roof, right? This roof is Tenkan and the light bulbs are candles. So when the price is moving to the upside like this, right? At a certain point, Tenkan who was below the price will go above the price and turn this way. So the candles that are inside at this level will be below Tenkan, right? And that will not be setups. Because a setup candle is a candle that one part touch Tenkan inside and another part is above Tenkan on the outside, like this, right? But when the candle are all of the candle are inside Tenkan, it shows you a visual identification for reversal. That's the visual identification for reversal. So let us look at it closely. Let us take some examples. Let us go on USD GPY for that. Let us take this example. For example, you see this candle, right? This set of candles. Yeah, this candle, this candle, this candle, and this candle, this candle, right? You see, Tenkan were going to the upside, and the price were going up. But when the reversal started, Tenkan started covering those three candles. Like there were no candles that one part of the candle is above Tenkan, another part is inside. Like on these setups, for example, if you take this candle, for example, this red candle, you see that the wick is inside Tenkan, and the other part of the candle is outside. Even this candle, right? The wick is inside, the other part is outside Tenkan. But when the price is about to reverse, the visual identification is that Tenkan start to cover like a dome. Tenkan cover at this level a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. Okay. It is the same thing that happened here. When you see Tenkan going above candles like this and start to cover 1, 2 candles, it means that the price is confirmed to be a reversal. That's how you have a visual identification, even at this level. For a normal setup, Tenkan is going to the upside like this, right? For a normal setup, when a price touches Tenkan, when the price touches Tenkan, one part of the candle will be inside Tenkan, another part will be at the external above Tenkan. It will make a little bit like a sandwich, like this, a slice. But when it is the reversal, all of the candles are below Tenkan, like this one. This one is below Tenkan. It happened a lot on Tenkan inverted. So that's how you can realize that this price is going to the downside. So that's the visual identification that I wanted to give you. I call it Tenkan Hoof. So now let us go to the next. So now the next one is the Tenkan hit VRS. The Tenkan hit VRS. You need to understand that. Let us take this example. This is the VRS on the left, right. Okay, when Tenkan got inside this zone, this red candle showed that was the candle that was inside the zone of Tenkan, right? After that, you had only one candle, then the price reversed here. Okay, that's normal. That's the first part when you can know that the price is reversing. But there's another thing. Another thing is that when Tenkan arrive exactly at the same level of this red candle at the bottom of the wick of this red candle, right? You will see that the candles that are above Tenkan, these candles, will not keep moving to the upside. They will want to reverse to the downside. That's what I'm trying to say here on the second point. Yeah. When the Tenkan touches the bottom wick of this red candle that had the reversal, the candles that are above Tenkan during this touch, like these two candles, will not keep moving to the upside. They will make the price reverse to the downside, this bottom wick. That's also a realization for Tenkan hit VRS. So let us go to the number 4. Why is it not on? Brother, I want the bold version. Oh my God. I will change it later. I wanted the capital version. So another thing is that another realization that I've saw in the market is that um, it takes like 7 days on the for the two time frame, daily and weekly. Like for the time frame daily and weekly, right? When an Ishimoku line is touched by candle, it will take 7 days minimum for the price to touch again the Ishimoku line on those two time frame. Look, for example, mostly when the trend is very bullish, between the touch of this candle and the touch of this candle, we have 7 days. Between the touch of Tenkan and year, we have 7 days. We can also take between this touch and this touch, right? How many days do we have? We have 13 days. So during bullish movement, you can actually predict with certainty that the price will make like 7 days with your money, and you can let the price go for 7 days. It happens also on weekly. It is the same thing on weekly. On weekly, it's even more than 7 days. Between the last time a candle touched an Ishimoku line and when the candle touched the next Ishimoku line here, it will 91 days past. That is 3 months. Even between this and this one and this one, this is 28 days. So that's the realization that I see in the market. Okay. So let us look at the next one. The deepest entry is on Tenkan looking left. So let us go on 1 hour, for example. When you see this movement, we are on 1 hour, right? When you see this movement, right, Tenkan made a sort of curve, a V to the downside. And when you take an horizontal line, you place it like this at the bottom of the Tenkan here, right? You realize that when the price will start making a pullback, it will come back maximum at that level. So you can actually have the deepest, cheapest, like the cheapest entry at Tenkan looking left for another buy. You can actually place you can actually place a limit order, and this thing happened a lot on 1 hour. You have also at this level, you have this Tenkan, the bottom part of Tenkan just at this level. When you take an horizontal line just right there, you can actually place a limit order like this, and then you place your stop loss at the bottom wick, and you have your cash, right? That's the deepest entry. That's my realization that I see. Even at this level, you have the same thing that happened. You see the deepest, the lowest, the lowest Tenkan curve is at this point. It serves like a support. So during the transition, you can actually buy at that level and place your stop loss just below the V here, just below this V, and then have your buy. That is the deepest, one of the deepest entries. So Let us now take the next one, the number 6. So there is something that happened. There is a visual identification that I made with buys. You see, the buy look a little bit like the hole. I will try to draw it to you like this. The buy shape look a little bit like the buy shape, like the visual identification, right? Look a little bit like a hole. And the cells look a little bit like a grandpa who has a cane, like this, like J, that like the letter J. The hole that I'm talking about is this hole, right? It is this hole. If you are a farmer, when a farmer want to plant a seed, here will be the ground, right? He will dig the hole. He will dig a hole here to put some seed inside with the hole. So this hole look exactly like the shape of the candles to make a buy. The shape of candles to make a buy look like this. And here is where you enter. Let us take an example. If you remove Ishimoku, if you remove Ishimoku, okay, and let us take this example. The candle went to the upside, and then the best buy was at this level, right? When you take this shape and you come back close to the hole with it, what do you see? The exact same shape like the hole. That's where you take an entry for a buy. Exactly. The touch between the ground and the whole the whole material. Exactly like this. So that's the visual identification that I have. And then for the cell, if you turn a little bit this skin to the left like this, oh man. If you turn this skin to the left like this, right, you will realize that the cells for for looks technically this way. This is where you sell for the entry to the downside. It looks exactly like a cell. If you take, for example, this cell, this whole uptrend, and then you sold somewhere here. Let us take, you sold somewhere exactly here at the embedded Tenkan at this level. When you take the whole of this, right, you take it, you go with it close to the kin. It looks exactly like the kin. So that is the visual identification that you can make also. It looks like the letter J. So now let's talk about the time frame skipping principle again. The time frame skipping principle, you have you know, for the time frame skipping principle, you need to first of all have your time frame at this level like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, right? So the time frame skipping principle, the principle is that right. The principle is that right. If you have an option like that, you want to buy at the earliest possible buy will be with your time frame skipping principle, TS2 and TS3. It means that when you find a setup, the time frame for the setup will be 4 hours, right? Then you skip 1, 2 time frame and 3 time frame to find your entries. Those will be the time frame for your entries. So this one will be TS3, M5 will be TS3, M15 will be TS2. But those will be entry time frame. But your take profit, you need to take your take profit at the latest possible of the trend. You enter the earliest possible, but you take your profit the latest possible, right? The latest possible. And the latest possible is given by the TS1, the time frame skipping by 1. You just skip 1 time frame to the down, to the left, and then you have your take profit. That will be your TS1. So that's the principle behind the time frame skipping principle. So you understand that basically the trading is made of 2 things. Trading is made of 2 things. Trading is made of fractal, right? The fractal are the time frame. The fractal are the time frame, right? All of those time frame. Now, trading is also made of basics drawings, basic screen drawing, basic drawing on the screen, drawings on the screen. You have rectangles, you have lines, and what you have also, you have vertical line. Those are the basic drawings. Line for Ishimoku lines, rectangles for candles. That's all what you have. Those are the basic drawings that even in primary school you can learn. So the combination of those two give you the trading. Fractal time frame, because you have those basic drawings are the same on each time frame when you look at it. Each time frame has the same drawing. That's what trading is made of, right? So if you want to succeed in trading and then you want to know when to buy the earliest possible and when to exit the latest possible, you need to use the time frame skipping principle like this. That's what gives you the best way to enter and exit. So now let's look at push cancellation. Let's look at push cancellation. Okay, let's look at push cancellation. Let's go on USDJPY. So let us look at something. Let us first of all identify the pushes. So this one was the origin, then we have here the reversal, then we have here the transition, then this one is the new trend, then we have the correction, then we got just right here the push number 1, then we have the correction again, then we have the push again, then we got the correction, then we have the push again. So we have literally 1, 2, 3 pushes. Okay. So what you realize that what cancel the push is the inverted Tenkan, like this part. When Tenkan bend to the downside, Tenkan rebend. Each time the push finish is when Tenkan has rebent at this level like this. Each time the push finished. So that's one thing that cancels the push. Also, one thing that cancels the push is that you know that in trading there is frequency and vibration, right? When the 1 and 2, the first and the second push are good pushes. Now from the third push, this one is already the last push. If the fourth and the fifth happen, is even an exception, right? So the two bigger push will be one push and second push. But from the third push, you need to start looking at it. You need to start paying attention and not expecting too much big movement to the upside. That's what happened here. That's what happened here. For example, we had the third push here, and then you have a brutal red candle that make the Tenkan bend to the downside like this. And the reason why we had it here at that level is that on weekly, when you go on weekly, we had a Tenkan hitting VRS on the left here. Tenkan was inside this resistance. So every candle that was above Tenkan at this level must have been going down. So when you do the TS2 and you come to from weekly to 4 hour, you should have expected a reversal anytime soon. Okay, that's why this push number 3 did not play out to the upside. Sometimes we can have some push on if you take for example this part, sometimes you can have like one push here, second push here, third push here, fourth push here, when you look at it very well, and the fifth push here. So you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this one is an exception because you see on daily we had a very big movement of we were totally bullish, right? On weekly also we were totally bullish during the transition. The transition on weekly did not make the price go to the downside, right? So, but one thing that identified the end of the push is a Tenkan rebend after TK cross. When TK cross happen like this, and then you see a Tenkan bending down, then at this level, it is TK cross happen. When you see Tenkan bending down for a push, it's the end of the push. So you need to start taking the sells. Tenkan bending down, Tenkan bending down, Tenkan bending down. Okay. So lastly, okay, lastly, let us do the number 10. So on the number 10, I'm talking about the linear orientation. So let me take you an example. Let's take this example. We are on 4 hour. Let me put a 2 setup. So so the setup SSB here is for the entry, right? This will be for the entry, and this one will be for the take profit, Okay. So now when you go to the downside to 1 to 15 minutes, you will see that the linear orientation of Tenkan is happening inside the setup. Okay, showing you that it is time to go to the upside, then you can buy. Then you have the linear orientation of Kijun Yen. But as soon as TK cross has started to, cross to exist from the first TK cross, even if you see Tenkan going down, don't start to say that it is a downtrend now. It will not keep moving to the upside. No, because there is priority. There is sequential priority. You have, first of all, the linear orientation inside the setup, linear orientation that I will write it like LO. Then when linear orientation has already happened, comes then the voluminal orientation. When the voluminal orientation like TK cross exists, stop looking at the bending of Tenkan. If you look at the bending of Tenkan, it will confuse you. Just stay with the voluminal orientation and take any buys of candles that are inside here. Okay. Because the linear orientation only works inside setup. The next time that you only look at linear orientation is inside and the next setup here or of higher time frame. What I mean is that you have two setups, a bottom setup here and a top setup here, right? And those setups happen on H4 daily, weekly, or monthly. Those are where those setups happen. Those are the big setups, right? Those are the blockers. Okay. So now inside a setup of H4, you have a linear orientation when you do the time frame skipping by 2 method on M15, and then you have the Tenkan, and then you have also the Kijun like this. Even here for the reversal, you have the Tenkan and the Kijun for the reversal. That's where you are looking at the linear orientations. Linear orientation, right? It orients you to start going to the buy. That's the earliest, give you the earliest orientation possible. You only look at linear orientation inside big setups. But when the linear orientation is already finished, you need to look at TK cross like this. You look at TK cross. When TK cross is happening, even if Tenkan is bending to the downside here, don't start to be afraid that the movement is not playing out, because Tenkan is not a blocker. It's just an orientation. It's a voluminal orientation. The blocker is saying that the price is moving from a blocker to another blocker. That's how the price is moving. A blocker starts from H4, right? The price is moving from a blocker to another blocker. So even if during TK cross you see Tenkan bending a little bit to the downside, it is not a problem. Even when you see KSB like this, even during the voluminal orientation KSB, all right, during the voluminal orientation KSB, even if you see Kijun a little bit bending to the downside, as if KSB is still bullish, if KSB is still bending, is still orienting himself to the upside, take the upside buys. Take any buys inside here, any buys of the price inside below SSB inside here. Even if you see any lines, any single line, Tenkan of Kijun bending a little bit down, as soon as the orientation is still bullish, it remains bullish. Let us look at, for example, in 1 hour. You see this. You see, for example, this one we had the linear orientation of Tenkan. Then we had TK cross. When TK cross happened, Tenkan start to bend to the downside. Don't be afraid. There is no like worry for you to have. It's not a downtrend. It's inside a best. It will give you inside the best opportunity to buy at the cheapest price possible. Even if Tenkan start to bend to the downside. As soon as you have the KSB, Kijun crossing above SSB, it is a voluminal orientation that take place, right? So that's a little bit what I wanted to emphasize with you, like to show you so that you don't get afraid of linear orientation. And let me tell you, those voluminal orientation like this and those linear orientation and voluminal orientation all happen on H1, M15, M5. Those are the time frame for entries. That's where you look at voluminal orientation. And anyway, you do a TS2. You do a TS2 to look at the voluminal orientation. As soon as you do a TS2, from the setup to the time frame of entry, you can look at voluminal and linear orientations. So with everything, with every type of approach and methods that I just gave you, it will give you enough energy, enough mental capacity to be an elite trader. But the most important thing is the attendance, the presence during that is happening. If you want to make money, you need to attend. You need to be in front of the chart. You need to be there when it happens. Okay. You need to be there when it happens. So make sure in your mind that the most important thing that you are looking for is the blockers. Okay. When you look at the blockers, the rest, the orientation and the execution will be so obvious for you. Because orientation and execution are just uh, we call it in French technique pour la mémorisation. Those are just mnemonic technique for memorization. Like the orientation and execution, like it's something that you have in mind directly that you memorize. Your biggest work will always be to make a decision about blockers, to find the blockers, the bottom of the blocker like this. This is where your big work happen. Okay, so with that said, let's trade it together and make money.